anything.
We're going, baby. You don't want to say anything? Well, that's going to be a weird guess then. Rolos, welcome to the Millennial Rolodex. I know it's been a little bit. It's been a little time, but we're back, man. Life gets in the way sometimes of things, you know? And what I think is, if this was a video podcast, they would see you smirking and laughing at me. So that's why it would be I could see the reason why people would tell me to do a video, because I think getting your expressions are kind of funny.
Yeah.
Today I have a guest. We have a guest today, and it's you. Both of us have a guest, and it's MD for, what is it, the fourth time?
I think so.
So you started off by saying I don't want to talk, so I'm gonna have a guest. We're gonna have a guest that doesn't want to talk. So people are used to hearing my voice talk for 20 some odd minutes anyway. This episode,
Can we start over?
No, we can't. This is all good. This is all going in, baby. Why don't you like this?
All right, you have a very raw way that you do this.
Well, do you not know this show?
Yeah, I do, but it's.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. I had a joke before.
It's different. It's different listening to it than it is recording it.
Well, because you're probably gonna listen to your own self now, and you're gonna be like, I hate Michael.
Yeah.
So that's what you say anyway when you listen to it. But
no, I say that you have a very nice podcast personality.
Thank you. Because what does that mean? Like, it's like,
I want him.
You want him? Oh my goodness!
I want the podcast mic.
You want the podcast mic?
Yeah. Be podcast mic all the time.
Welcome to the Millennial Rolodex. Imagine I just showed up everywhere and did that. That would be insane. Which I do that, actually. Welcome to the Millennial Rolodex. That kind of is my personality, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's very... okay. It is very... that's why people... And I've noticed this, like, when I listen to a lot of podcasts, like for instance, Theo Von. And I think he talks about this, where he's like, I expose myself so much on my podcast, my natural self, that when people come up to me, they actually know me.
Yeah.
They know a lot of me, and I don't know them at all, but they know me a lot.
It's kind of creepy.
It's interesting. It actually it's interesting. I mean, it's more but I guess you have to know that you're doing that, though, right? Because you're putting yourself out there. So if somebody's like, I'm a fan of you and your podcast, you're very raw on your podcast, you know? As opposed to, like, actors that isn't really who they are. So you could run into somebody like Don Draper, John Hamm from Mad Men, who's like the cool, suave guy, and then he's like a goofy guy, and you're like, oh, this is not the same guy. Ew, gross.
Yeah.
But you might like that more, especially.
That leads us to our first.
Does it?
Topic.
Okay, so today is a very cool concept. So I asked you to write down 10 things to talk about.
Yeah. And
I'm gonna read them. I haven't read these yet, and I'm gonna read them, and then we're gonna discuss these 10 little. Whatever they are, if they're sentences or words or whatever, we're just gonna discuss them, okay? So okay. I like this. This is like very spontaneous, very cool, and very like in the moment, very raw,
very artsy.
Very artsy. So the first thing is death. Now I don't know. You wrote down death. Number 1, death. That's the first thing out of the 10. Yeah, there's 10. So did you have anything in mind when you said that, death, or you said just talk? You just would like me to talk about it. Death is very interesting. You know.
Death is very
What is death? No, death is very interesting. This is actually a cool exercise too, because it's like word association, but it's like the first thing that pops into your mind, because I didn't prepare. I didn't look at these at all. I'm just looking at them for the first time. So death, the first thing that comes to mind when I think about death is I've actually been seeing a lot recently, a lot of people talk, like give interviews and podcasts and stuff about after they like near-death experiences where they die and they come back, and a lot of them have similar things that they go through.
Yeah.
I haven't really dived deep into that, but I don't know, man. I don't know death. Like,
I don't know death.
I don't know death, man. I would like to get to know death.
Drama.
No.
Drama queen.
No.
I would like to get to know death.
Well, that's when you write one word down, it's hard to like, what about death? So I would just say, I find that interesting. So death is this thing that happens to all of us, yet we don't know what it is. We don't know what happened. We just know, like, our physical form is not here.
Even when you try to talk about it, it's like, elusive.
Absolutely, because, I mean, that's where religion comes in, right? Like, I guess a lot of people, I guess that is weird, right? Because a lot of people, whatever you think about death is probably what your religion is, right?
Yeah.
So whatever religious belief you have is what you think about death. So if you're Catholic, you believe, oh, I'm going to heaven. If you're Buddhist, death is just...
That leads us to our next
topic.
It?
All right, well, let's...
They're connected.
Rebirth. Okay, so death and rebirth. So what? So in Buddhism, so to say, you're reborn, right? That was funny. That was synchronistic. Is that what it is, though?
Reincarnation, essentially, but there is, I guess, like the ultimate goal of Buddhism is enlightenment. So, like, you have like Hinduism that also like practices or believes in reincarnation. And then Christianity, rebirth through Christ. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a rebirth through Christ too. And also, when you die in, I would say, Christianity, you're not dead.
No.
But it's a death of your body, but not a death of your soul. So is your soul
like
reborn?
The Egyptians believed in the afterlife.
Yeah. I don't know. There's definitely something about a rebirth. And that's funny that you said that, death and then rebirth, because... I guess we'll just go on to number 2, rebirth.
Yeah.
Is after you die, what is that next thing? A lot, I don't know if a lot of people believe nothing happens anymore. I mean, there's atheists out there who probably will say, like, once you die, that's it. But I would say that's so hard. That's so, like, so the concept of death, right? And this is good because now our minds are going a little bit when we start thinking about it a little more. Like, to think that everything about what's going to happen because you could tangibly feel it and educatedly think about it is very interesting to me. Like, people think that, well, we die, so we don't see anything happen, so that's it, the lights go out. But that seems so arrogant in a way that we could even possibly know what this is that we're living.
Yeah.
And what, like, this stage of things are like, what, this is one consciousness, right? This is one embodiment of our spirit and our soul. The next one is a rebirth. So that is interesting, because I do think that there is an evolution of some sort, or a next stage of some sort with our soul.
Yeah.
Because I believe in the soul. I don't know if that's controversial for people, but I believe in it. And yeah, so I think that is it. I guess it is.
It's interesting that Buddhists don't believe in a soul.
What is the thing that reborns then?
I guess, Buddhahood, maybe.
Yeah, but what is it? Why? How are you reborn? What are you then, if you're not the soul?
I don't know.
So they don't believe in a soul, though, they say?
Yeah.
Huh. That doesn't make any sense to me. What are you then, that you get reborn then?
I guess that's the question.
Are you sure that they don't believe in a soul?
Yeah.
Because that really doesn't make much sense. How are you reborn then? How would you be reborn in Buddhism if they don't believe in a soul?
I guess you probably just return to the world.
But what is you, though?
As, like...
What is you, though?
Consciousness.
What is your consciousness, then?
Just consciousness, the universe, oneness, enlightenment.
But so they don't believe in a soul, Buddhism. Interesting. I mean, I guess that's a good, I don't know that, but that's interesting if that's the case, because then what does it mean to be reborn if they don't believe in a soul, but they believe that your body's going to be reborn and keep on...
Well, they believe that your consciousness is reborn.
Yeah, but then what is your consciousness if it's not your soul? You know what I mean? Your consciousness is just your brain. It can't just be your brain, because your brain's going to die.
I don't think so. I don't think consciousness is just the brain.
So, but I guess it's maybe a semantical thing then, where they're just say, like, your consciousness, it's not your soul, it's your consciousness, but it sounds very simple. It sounds like a similar thing, because people don't know what the consciousness is anyway. A lot of people say, like, what is your consciousness? Well, there's no such thing as a soul. It's just your conscious. It's just your brain.
Like, they don't believe that there is, like I guess how we believe in the Christian concept of being a soul within a body. They don't believe in that. I guess it's more about consciousness and connection and oneness.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, maybe
it's not like that separation of like body and soul.
I guess. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I that's interesting. That concept is. That's very interesting. I don't know. I don't even know what that means. I mean, the consciousness and the soul is very that's a topic that people try to talk about and figure out all the time. I mean, I would say that that's like, once again, a semantical kind of thing anyway, because oh, it's not your soul, it's the consciousness. It's like, all right, what's your consciousness? Oh, it's not a consciousness, it's your soul. I mean, those things, these are just words, but what are they saying? You know, like, what are people saying in that? And I guess they just mean that you're going somewhere else anyway, right? You're being reborn into something. So if you're calling it a soul or your consciousness, I mean, that's I don't know. It would be hard to distinguish that to me, honestly. Because what is consciousness then? You know, like, what is it anyway? Nobody knows what it's just like, oh, we're awake. You know, what is it?
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
We're aware.
So the next one is nature. That's cool. I love nature. That's number 3.
Yeah.
I love nature. I love going hiking. Yeah. I love the forest. I love when we went to Vermont. I love like being in the woods. I feel like we're definitely part of nature. And it's funny because that podcast that I was listening to was saying like, we're outside of nature. We don't go with nature. But the guy was saying, but we are supposed to be in nature and go along with nature.
Yeah.
So I like that. What do you think? What's your thing? What's your jam with nature?
I like it too.
You like nature too? Pretty cool. All right. Spring.
You can probably read like a few of these at a time because they're all connected.
Okay. Well, spring. Spring.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Winter. I always have to do this. Winter, spring, summer, fall. So spring is, we're getting over winter, and we're going into spring, and then like the April showers bring May flowers. I remember that's a saying. So is it typically rainy in the spring?
Yeah.
Typically rainy, the flowers, everything's blooming. I see that one tree over there, that white, the Japanese maple, right?
Yeah.
Or cherry blossoms. I love that tree. It's beautiful every time I see it. It's definitely the smell of flowers, the smell of grass. It feels like life.
Yeah.
Is that like a thing?
Yeah, I think so.
Rebirth? Is that
renewal?
Rebirth? Did they have, what was like a spring equinox? Didn't they have like rituals that they did?
Yeah. Yeah. Probably related to fertility.
Interesting. Because of the flowers blooming?
Yeah.
Pretty sick.
New beginnings.
I like that. I know, like, I remember hearing that they would have the celebrations because they were like, oh, our sun came back, like it got hot again, and it wasn't cold forever and winter forever.
That's so nice and romantic.
Yeah, it's pretty romantic. I would say it's pretty cool. It's pretty jazzy. I do love the spring, and it is cool. I guess it is a rebirth because Jesus, right? That was when he came back, right, from the dead. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool of him. What, bro?
Wow.
That is true, right? Easter, right? He came back from the dead, man. It's pretty metal. So we got joy. Ooh, joy. Like a person's name?
Joy. I mean, it can be anything.
Okay. Joy what?
Joy. Almond joy. Joy. Joyful.
Yeah. Joy Behar from The View, which we're big fans of.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was in a movie, I think, actually. She was in Murder Mysteries in Manhattan.
Really?
With Woody Allen. Yeah. Controversial figure. Yeah. That was the only time I've seen her outside of The View. I don't watch The View. That was a joke, but that was the only... You know when you see people that are older now and you know them from something?
Yeah.
Like from The View. Like you just know her. Like either people are like posting, like making fun of them or, oh, look, they nailed these people, whatever. Like whatever they're saying. But I just know her from The View.
Yeah.
And then like after... I was watching that movie, Murder Mysteries in Manhattan Murder Mysteries, and in the 90s, and she's in it, and I'm like, oh wow, people do other things.
I like that.
You know?
Nice.
Like Whoopi Goldberg from The View. She was in Ghost. Yeah.
Yeah.
What else
I
are
really...
people from The View? What else do they do?
How the hell do they get on this talk show?
I don't know.
How do they pick these women?
A bunch of chatties women. That's what it is. It's women chatting it up.
How do they pick up these women?
I said, well, you know my theory. Women shouldn't get together. A bunch of women shouldn't be allowed to get together.
All right, that covers it for Joy.
That pretty much covers it for Joy. No, but Joy. I mean, I guess like we could always choose joy, right? You think joy is a choice?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Why not though? You know, you could. I gotta tell you, you're the most talkative guest I've had so far. You know, on the show, including yourself.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, I would say joy. Joy is definitely. I mean. Who doesn't love?
Am I even really here?
Probably not. I'm probably just talking to myself, honestly, at this point. But yeah, joy is pretty cool. I like joy. I love joy. Is that like what? Is that like happiness? Would you think it's different? What do you think?
I think it's different.
Yeah.
I think joy feels more like natural and intuitive, and happiness feels more constructed.
Happiness is more. So joy is like Joy is more of an intuitive feeling.
Yeah.
Like, I feel joy.
Yeah. I think joy is what we confuse with happiness.
It seems like more of a deeper feeling, too, I would say. I would say joy. Like, right? I feel joy. Yeah. Like, I'm joyful.
I'm joyful.
I'm joyful. I feel joy. And happiness is like, I'm happy. Kind of like...
Aren't we all happy?
Yeah, it could be...
Let's all be happy.
Yeah. It could be just lip service, I guess. Or... I don't know. I mean, like, if you're really happy, that's great. Like, a lot of people are happy, but joy, I feel like, is like a aura.
Yeah.
Like a joyful aura. Gratitude.
Yeah.
Good one. Good next one. What are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for good food.
Oh, good food is really good to be grateful for.
Yeah. Or just food in general.
Just food, I was gonna say. Yeah, right? I'm like, oh, this is bad food. Well, I'm grateful for it. Yeah, I'm great. Yeah, I'm great for sure. Isn't that funny? Like, to be great, like, we're in America, and we're in New York, so we're just like, I always have food.
Yeah.
Like, we always have food, whatever we need.
Yeah.
We have a number of choices for food, and I wonder how many people, including us, are actually grateful every time we get to eat something. You know? We
don't even think about it. It's like eating is more like a chore, I think.
Yeah.
For a lot of the times for people.
Yeah. Damn, I gotta eat. Yeah. I gotta eat something. Yeah. Let me scarf this down real quick. You see it a lot when people are at work. So like, I gotta eat. I gotta eat real quick.
As I can.
Yeah.
Oh, that's frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, and then that was one of the things I think when you live in a society like when we went to Italy and like just like Europe and all these kind of places that where people like sit down, they take their time, they eat, and then they don't like rush to do it. That's like such a big, like important part of their life, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's your nutrients, it's your digesting, digesting, and it's like. We work essentially to food, shelter, and water and
warmth
or clothing. Yeah, well, shelter. That's shelter. Yeah, but yeah, like food, shelter, and clothing. You know, that's what we work for.
And a fire.
Yes, and clothes and pants and clothes and shirts
and belts. And hats.
No, but like yeah, like you know,
pretty bags.
Well, that's what we work for, obviously. But yeah, no, like that's one of the necessities that we have is food, and so like to be grateful for that, like to be grateful for the necessities.
Would you say you're also grateful for food?
Yeah, for sure. I'm grateful for food. Like I was saying, like I'm grateful for like the necessities. Like,
oh, that's so beautiful.
The things that you need that you have. I'm really just typically am grateful for just whatever I have. Honestly, that's something that I think I was talking to somebody the other day, and I was like, yo, I don't like kill myself at work. You know, I work, I go home, I don't ask anybody for any like money or anything. I support myself, you know, we support ourselves, and you know, I'm grateful for this. We don't have a crazy amount of things. We have like our necessities.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for it, you know? And I think that's think that maybe that is what maybe we all need to remember. And obviously I need to remember that too. I don't remember that all the time, but when I do think about it, I'm like, yeah, I am grateful for this. You know, I'm grateful for my job that I talk shit about. I'm grateful for my apartment that I talk shit about. I'm grateful my car, for everything. You're just grateful for the things in your life. You wouldn't trade it, you know. So it's funny when we're like, oh damn, this, but I'm grateful for it, you know. So yeah.
Love that.
Fear.
Did you feel fear when you said that?
7. Fear. No. I would say it's so funny. People talk about fear a lot, like what's your greatest fear? And it's funny. I was on the train, Friday night. I was working late, and I overheard a group of like 20-something-year-olds, and one of them asked, "What's your greatest fear?" And the other one said, "Tsunamis."
Nice.
I was like, "That's good."
That's a good one.
No existential dread there, unless they have fear that a tsunami is gonna take them out at any point. But that's always cool to have, like, just a fear, like a real, like, what's your biggest fear? A tsunami. I hate spiders. Like, that's great. My biggest fear is, like, not to succeed, not to find love, not to do this, not to do that, you know?
Should we externalize our fears?
What do you mean?
Like, should we, like, be afraid of the things around us rather than the things inside of us?
But I think the thing is, fear is so... Fear... You could be afraid of, like, people say you could be afraid of success. People are afraid of success. People are afraid of failure. I think most people are afraid of failure. I don't know. I guess, like, that would be, like, the number one thing people are afraid of.
Failure?
Yeah. Death, failure, public speaking, people say.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But essentially that's...
Loneliness.
Yeah. Well, if you look... Yeah, loneliness, for sure. But I think all that is just, like, what you perceive to be as failure. I'm lonely, so that means I failed finding a partner, or I failed finding camaraderie. I have a fear of public speaking because I failed at conveying what I wanted, how I wanted it. You know, it's like a fear of failure, I would say. And I think for me, I'm just going to talk for myself. Obviously, this is all our own perspective, but when you really are in tune with yourself and the world around you, there's no such thing as failure. Yeah. You know, we were talking about this earlier. We were talking about art and artists and stuff. It's like when you fail, like when you're doing anything, it might resonate with people. It might not resonate with people. Whatever you do, whether it's when you're starting a business or doing a podcast, drawing a painting, you know, painting a painting, you know, whatever it is, man, it's like that failure isn't a real thing. Yeah. We just do things in the world. And now everybody is so, I think, in tune with, like, you got to make money, you got to hustle, you got to do this. And it's like, if you don't do this stuff, you fail. If people look at you funny, you fail. If you're weird, you fail. And it's like, those aren't failures. You're just living your life. You're on your journey. Living your life beautifully with an expression of yourself. That's success, regardless of people like you or not. So
that's beautiful. You
know, that's for everybody out there in Vietnam that listens to the show, right?
That's beautiful.
So what do you think about fear?
I agree with you. I think a lot of it is fear of failure and fear of, like, perception and how the world sees you, and, like, not being able to, like, I guess, like, control how people see you. And, like, I think a lot of fear comes with, like, the freedom to be ourselves. Like, I think we like get scared to be who we are because we think other people are gonna judge us. And I think that's, like, why we put limitations on ourselves.
Yeah, and I mean, that's such a great point, because I've noticed when I'm the most myself, and people who don't like with that or whatever, they go away, or they just don't deal with them. But you typically, the people that, like, stick around you when you're yourself are, like, you have the best times with them.
Yeah, they're the best.
Because you're just exposing yourself, and then they're like, oh, you're weird. I'm gonna be my weird self.
I'm gonna be my weird self, and then you just work out well together. No one's judging anyone else, and it's fine.
That's beautiful.
Friendship.
8 is ambition.
Yeah.
Ambitions of a rider. Ambition, that's an interesting one. What is ambition?
When I put that down, I was thinking about just like if there is a healthy type of ambition or if all ambition leads back to ego.
I mean, oh, these are great.
Like ambition to find enlightenment or to like express ultimate Buddhahood.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you said something one time that was interesting that it was people always want something. So, you know, I don't need or want anything, but you going on the path of enlightenment is you wanting enlightenment. Yeah. So you have to want that.
Yeah.
Right? So that's a very interesting conundrum right there, right? Because you're like, being enlightened is like, I don't want to be enlightened, but you're on the path to be enlightened, so you have to want to do that, right?
Yeah.
So it's very interesting. I don't know, is there a healthy ambition? I'm ambitious to be enlightened. But then again, let's think about that, because ambition is like gurus or Buddhas or people who are like Buddhist monks and stuff like that. Bodhisattvas, which are like Buddhist monks, right?
Bodhisattvas are like the Buddhas that, or they're not Buddhas. They hold off their enlightenment to help others find enlightenment.
Okay.
So they're bodhisattvas.
So that's interesting.
But they can attain Buddhahood or enlightenment at any point.
Sick.
Yeah.
So all of those guys, all these people, you know, when you go down that path, you have to want to do it, right? You have to want enlightenment, right? But I guess that's like this. That goes like this.
Or you have to want for others to be enlightened.
Yes. So exactly. So I guess it could go like this. You said, is there a healthy version of that? I would say the healthy version of that is to go on the path, but not lust over it, in the sense of I'm going to become enlightened and everybody else is going to be behind me.
Yeah.
Because that is like the antithesis of enlightenment, you know?
What is that we do though, when we're like, no one, like I'm going to be enlightened and no one else is, or like everybody is going to be, I'm going to be more enlightened than everybody else.
Well, that's not enlightenment. First and foremost, that's the opposite of what you're trying to do, I would say, because to be enlightened, I would say, is to really let that to let that go.
Yeah.
You know, and
that's so true.
And
because once you let that go, nothing matters.
Exactly. And like we were talking about earlier about like Francis Ford Coppola, the director, he's ambitious to make a movie, right? He makes a movie, but he's not ambitious to drag everybody down around him.
Yeah.
So I guess like harming others mentally, physically, or whatever, or just like wanting to crush people is an unhealthy ambition. Like, you ever heard this thing where...
Or wanting to prove to other people that you can do it, you know, or that you're better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like school, like somebody was saying like classes, right? Like school, everybody wants to be number one. So then you have to beat everybody, and then somebody has to be number two.
Yeah.
So the fact that you want to be number one is like, means you want somebody else to be number two.
Yeah. You
know? And that's always very interesting to me, because you know, you bring up ambition. That's probably our society, honestly. That's what I don't think that's how people feel, but I think that's but when left to our own, like when left to the devices of whatever's going on in the world right now, competition, essentially, that's what it is. Yeah. You know? And to say like, well, that makes you great, that makes you excellent, that makes you this, is like, I just think that makes you an asshole. That was just a funny statement, but I think it could lead to just really negative stuff inside of you. You know, like, oh, that's what a loser would say. That's what this would say. Oh, we're handing out participation trophies. Like, all this stuff is like, these are just vague things. These are like things that we just say that, I'm not saying like, yeah, don't keep score, don't do this, but let's be a little empathetic. Let's help. Let's just bring each other up. Not like, I'm ambitious, crush you. That's like a lot of where we are right now. Yeah. And then mentally for you, well, chances are, if there's one number one, no, you're not going to be number one.
Yeah.
So you're going to be the crushed person
Yeah.
trying to go to the top. So you have to remember that. Like, and then when you are number one, that whatever that means, because I don't even know what that means, you don't stay there. So what is it that we're doing here, people? We're like trying to all compete to be number one, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then like crush everybody else, and then when it's our turn to get crushed, that's
hold
it.
Hold on as long as we possibly can.
That's not it, man. Ambition should be like, yeah, I want to express myself, do my thing, and help others.
But it's not competition.
Yeah, it's not competition. Yeah, and help others though.
Yeah.
I think serving others is always like a good thing to do. You know.
Yeah.
Moderation.
Yeah.
Anything you were thinking about with that or no? That's number 9. So we have one more after this.
Not really. Just like in general.
I would say moderation is good. I would say not. I like reading that book. The guy, I forget his name, but he's the Hare Krishna guy.
Yeah.
And he was saying to conquer like your mind, it's just so your mind's not agitated. You have to do everything in moderation. So whether that's like food, sleep, sex, everything in moderation. Yeah, I mean, it's like not to be overly excessful in anything, you know. So when you're hungry, eat, but don't overstuff yourself. When you're sleeping, sleep a good amount. Like don't sleep too much, not little. Sex, don't overindulge in sex, because all of these things, your mind you can't control it. You can't control your senses, you know. So I think moderation is important, and we all probably should practice it, especially like I said in America.
Yeah.
Because we have so many things. Cinematic musical scores is the last thing. Last but not least, cinematic musical scores. What do you mean by that?
Just like music scores.
Yeah, I love them. I'm a movie guy. I love movies. Someone called me a cinephile. I wouldn't call myself that. But yeah, it's funny because I do love cinematic musical scores, to quote you. But I feel like they used to do it more back in the day, and now it's like not it's like more peppered in a little bit.
Rather than being like incorporated into the film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like somebody who does it, I mean, I know PTA does it a lot. Paul Thomas Anderson is really known for his scores nowadays. You know, obviously the Marvel movies or like Spielberg movies, notorious for that. But I was watching an older movie last night. I didn't finish it, but it's an Orson Welles movie, Touch of Evil, and the score is peppered throughout every scene pretty much. So all of these older movies, like the score is like underlined. The music is underlined through like every scene. So sometimes it's lighter, sometimes it's a little louder, and it's just like throughout the whole movie, and it adds so much to it. And everything is so intentional in it. Yeah.
That's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that's I guess that's like when, you know, and obviously you know, when I think things were more, like I said, movies were more, they were saying more, you know, and it was more intentional, and everything, there was every art form was coming together to make a cinematic cinematic mosaic piece. That. Yeah. But I love me a nice cinematic score. So
do you have a favorite one?
A favorite cinematic score? I would say, I don't know, do you?
That's a really good question.
What comes to mind right now is there's both Francis Ford Coppola movies, or actually 3 Francis Ford Coppola movies.
Yeah.
The Godfather.
Yeah.
Classic. I love the jazz in the conversation.
Oh yeah.
And actually, I'm gonna name somebody else too. Apocalypse Now, but that's like Flight of the Valkyries. That's a famous one. And then you have I do love William Friedkin's Sorcerer, because it was very I think that was Tangerine Dream. That was the first time they were used, and it was more like it was like a different sound. And then Michael Mann used them for, I think, Thief after that.
Cool.
So
that was wonderful.
Yeah. How about you?
Yeah.
Same thing.
Same thing. Same.
Same. Sick, dude. You got good taste, man.
Same.
Yeah, so that's the episode. 35 minutes going strong. We're back, guys. Thank you. You have anything else you want to add, my lady?
Thank you for listening to this crazy man.
Love you.